Welcome to Modern Day Abigails. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new." So let's listen to God's Word, where everyday lives transform and where we can become the women God created us to be.
I think when we get to heaven, the Lord's going to answer all of our questions immediately.
Or we're going to realize, wow, those are really dumb questions. I don't really need to know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Look at the Lord's like, you're going to be worshiping me. You don't have time for this. You don't have time for your questions when you're worshiping me. So anyway, like I said, this is the fun part of reading the Bible. The questions you don't ever get answered, but you can have fun and wondering what happened. So anyway, okay, it's not important. Due to Esau's arrogance, he probably thought dad was old and just made a mistake. No big deal. I just love how they, like to add your firstborn. They kept adding that part like all the time. Esau, your firstborn. Esau, your firstborn. Anyway, verse 33.
Which meant nothing to Esau.
No, that's what even funnier is. It didn't mean anything to him.
No.
Or he was expecting everything for free. I get the blessing for free. I don't have to do anything for it. Free. Yeah. Anyway, Genesis 27:33. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly and said, "Who? Where is the one who hunted the game and brought it to me? I ate all of it before you came in, and I blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed." So when it says trembled, it's an excessively great tremble. So reality just hit Isaac. Now, why?
He got duped.
Why was Isaac scared? Did he think Esau would become angry and violent? Did he suddenly realize that he was going against God and that he suddenly had a fear of the Lord, realizing that he had almost made a mistake and gave the blessing to his firstborn instead of Jacob like he was supposed to? We don't know, but I'd like to think all of a sudden he realized that he almost made a big mistake and God stopped him.
I mean, maybe reality set in, playing off what you say, reality set in that he just remembered the Lord said.
Yeah, I just did exactly what the Lord said was going to happen is the younger is going to serve, the older is going to serve the younger.
When something happens to you in your life and you realize the Lord stepped in, took over, saved your life,
right? Or saved your butt from a situation.
I become super emotional and I freaked out several times.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe that's what he was doing. He was freaking out because he realized the Lord's promise, just like you just said, the Lord's promise just came true, and I almost messed the whole thing up.
Yeah, I was going to mess the whole thing up, but God stopped it.
God stopped it.
And fear does funny things. If you have a real fear of the Lord, it's supposed to get you to the back path, to the correct path, to the narrow way. So fear can keep us from moving, keep us from doing what is right, but only the fear of God is what leads us to the right place. Any other fear will lead us away from God. And there is a fear of the Lord, and then there's fear. That's what I said, that stopped me a lot, that I was so afraid, and I made stupid decisions because I was so afraid. And sometimes we do stay in a fearful state because then we fear what getting out of fear is going to be like. We fear no fear.
The unknown.
And so in Psalm 19:9, it says, "The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteousness altogether." Psalm 34:11 says, Come, you children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Or Psalm 111, verse 10, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all those who do his commandments. His praise endures forever." So Isaac's fear may have been the fearing of the Lord and realizing what he had done. Now, does that make the deception correct and right? No, they all did wrong. They did everything the hard way, but God got Isaac back to where he needed to be. But again, there's going to be consequences in this road.
Sure.
The shortcut we like to take, the shortcuts are usually makes everything else last longer. Shortcuts don't ever help. Shortcuts get you to a point shortly, but it doesn't help you at all.
And the moral of the story is you cannot thwart God's plan.
Exactly.
You can try.
Yeah, but it isn't going to work. You're not that powerful. God says, I made a promise. I made a covenant. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes we are so stubborn, God stands there and goes, okay, well, let me know when you're done throwing your temper tantrum and then we'll move forward.
And by the way, he knew that was going to happen as well.
Oh, yeah. He knew everything. He's the beginning of beginnings. He knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. He already knew you were going to throw a temper tantrum. He already knew he was going to not do it at that moment. He was going to wait.
Yep. And, yeah, nothing is ever a surprise to God.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing
ever happens and God goes, oh, really? I hadn't thought of that.
Wow.
Could you imagine?
Like, wow.
Can you imagine? But that's the false gods.
Yeah.
The false gods that people create, they give them human characteristics. And I don't know why, but the true living God is not human at all. And he has to try to explain things in ways that we could actually understand it. Because there's no way we could truly understand it in our finite minds. So if you're a little confused about how all this worked out, we have to remember God is in control. God keeps his promises, and we can't stop God's plans. We just can't. So in Genesis 27:34, it says, when Esau heard these words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry and said to his father, bless me also, oh my father. But he said, your brother came with deceit and has taken away your blessing. And Esau, well, wasn't he you know what, Dad, if you had given the proper son the blessing, he wouldn't have had to do any of that. So we can go back to saying, hey, Isaac, if you had just done what you were supposed to do, none of this would have happened.
Agreed.
Rebecca should never have done what she did. None of this would have happened. There's a lot of ways. And you know what? And there's always a lot of the things in our life that happens. If we just done it the Lord's way, he gives us a way out. And if we just take that way out, we could have avoided a lot of things.
I agree.
Okay. So, and Esau said, is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times, and he took away my birthright. And now look, he has taken away my blessing. And he said, have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, indeed, I have made him your master and all his brethren. I have given to him as servants with grain and wine. I have sustained him. What shall I do now for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, have you only one blessing? My father, bless me also, oh my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. All right, you can really feel Esau's pain and anger in this statement. But it reminds me of when we come to terms with our sin.
His arrogance backfired.
Yes.
Like exploded.
Exactly. And then,
Jacob didn't take away his birthright twice. Esau gave it to him.
Yeah, he gave him the first time.
And freely.
Yeah. And Isaac should never have put him in the situation where they had to think they had to do this. Well, they shouldn't have done it in the first place, but it didn't help that Isaac put him in the situation. So you're right. That's what I was going to say in a minute is same thing. I said, when I say it reminds me, do we cry in anguish when we realize we hurt the Lord or because we got caught? I have seen different women get saved, and some of them are so emotional, but you come to realize after seeing no fruit that they weren't emotional because they really understood that they were sinners needing to be saved. They were just upset they got caught, or they just was trying to get out of hell free card. I'm not going to change my life. I don't want to go to hell. That scares me, but I'm not going to change my life either. No, it don't work that way. A big difference. You're supposed to have a sorrowful repentance, knowing that you sinned against the Lord. So Esau here is, I don't know, I think he's just crying because it didn't go his way. It's a big temper tantrum. It didn't go his way.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. What a temper tantrum.
Esau gave his birthright away. He's not upset in realizing that he went against God and what God had ordained and didn't say, you know what, Dad, you're right. It was belonging to Jacob. God did promise it to Jacob. I don't have any reason to ask for a blessing, but if you could bless me, I would greatly appreciate it because I do recognize that Jacob is, and not me. He didn't say, you know what, you're right. I gave away my birthright. I married the wrong women. I want to repent. Can you bless me in my repentance? No, Jacob's just upset that he got caught.
Yep.
He's just upset. So he didn't have to sell his Jacob to get food. So I don't think Esau's in anguish because of spiritual matters, but because of material matters. He sold his birthright for a bowl of stew. He is failing to take responsibility and admit what he did was wrong. And Isaac is failing to admit he was wrong in not having established it from the beginning, that God gave the rights of the firstborn to Jacob, who strongly enough understood the importance of it, which is funny. Jacob understood the importance. That's why he wanted it so bad. He went and took it because he wanted it. He understood it. So nobody in this covenant family is operating in covenant. And I'm guessing that Rebecca's just watching it all play out.
I mean, she orchestrated it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I wondered how Rebecca, when she heard Esau, how bad was it? I mean, did she actually kind of be hurt, or was she's like, yes, everything's in place? I don't know. We don't hear. As believers in Jesus, the Lord has an expectation for us to live by. Not perfection, but complete trust. And as we read our Bibles and pray, we grow fruit. Galatians 5:22 through 23 tells us, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. Meaning, you can't create this by yourself. Only Jesus can create it. So ladies, take an inventory. Are you lacking in love or joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control? I'm not saying that means necessarily that you're not saved. It could be that you're just not willing to work on your fruit because some of it's not fun. But also, if you have none of that, you really should consider yourself and ask yourself, Lord, am I saved? Because if you're not producing fruit, you got a problem.
If you tell me you've been saved for 10, 20, 30 years and nobody can tell, just because you say it
doesn't mean it's true.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I could say I'm, 5'6".
Right. Oh, I can say I'm a supermodel.
I mean,
we know
I'm not even 5 foot.
Exactly.
Me saying it doesn't make it true.
Exactly.
Me wearing my 4 foot high heels, which I have several pairs, 4 inches high. I still can't even get to 5'6".
Wait until you see my boots tomorrow. You're gonna love them.
I'm gonna love them. Okay, I'm excited already.
Yeah. So I can't wear them if I'm driving, but since I'm not driving, I can wear them. So anyway, and the reason I said now, some of it could be, broken hearts, the trauma in your life. It's believers do get broken hearts, and it's like trying to run a race with a couple of broken legs. But if you're not noticing this fruit, you need to really have a good conversation with the Lord. Get discipled, because you need to work on that. Because how do I say it gently? How are you going to be useful in the kingdom work if you can't even get your fruit together?
Agree.
How do you offer fruit to other women if you don't even have any? How do you offer love or joy, or how do you suffer with them, do a long suffering with them if you don't even have the fruit yourself? So if you're really truly about the kingdom and the kingdom work, you're going to want this fruit, and you're going to want to share it with others, which, think about it, we're not really seeing this with this family. I mean, think about it, we're not.
Nope, they're a mess.
They're a mess.
Chaotic mess.
Yeah.
Lots of chaos and drama going on. Self-inflicted. There's a difference.
Yes.
Sometimes there's things that happen in our lives that we
have to deal with and get through.
Yeah, and we're thrown into involuntary chaos. That's what I'm talking about. There are some people, they throw
themselves in over and over.
And it's voluntary.
Yeah, they hate going off the high dive, but they just keep going off the high dive.
Sure.
I hate this.
Yep.
And you're like, why'd you do it again?
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to get out of it. Help them out, sister. Okay, so in Luke 4:18, it says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. This is about Jesus. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and recovery of the sight of the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed. And I like how, I learned this from a Karen Davis song. Go backwards. If you're oppressed, you need liberty. You need to be able to see so that you can recover and get out of captivity and be set free. And the only way you can do that is by taking care of that broken heart.
I agree.
So, ladies,
I love that.
We want you to take care of your broken hearts. And you have to be saved. If you're not saved in Jesus, there's no hope for your broken heart, because only Jesus can heal it. And sometimes when you get saved, the Lord heals the broken hearts immediately. Not always. Ask Joanne and I, like years later, all of a sudden the Lord's like, hey, you got some broken hearts you got to deal with. After we heard somebody talking about broken hearts, all of a sudden the Lord's like, hey, that's you. And sometimes we really have to deal with those broken hearts, and they're hard. They're hard because you have to go revisit what you don't want to revisit.
They're painful. We've spent so many years stuffing them down and
yes. And then the Lord's like, yeah, we got to bring that up, and it hurts.
Nailing the door shut.
Exactly. Well, it's like something that festers and infected. It hurts really bad until you pop it or get it loose or stab a needle in it and it gushes or oozes out. That's what a broken heart is. You have to get in there, rip it out so that it can stop hurting. And that's the beautiful thing. It will stop hurting. Once you get that broken heart healed, you will stop being in pain. And the Lord heals it different ways. We can't tell you how he's going to heal yours because he does it different ways. That's your relationship with the Lord and how he's going to help you. But we do recommend
we also need we also each need to be healed differently. We're not the same.
Right, exactly. The Lord's going to do it different ways.
Circumstances might be so similar, but we are not the same people. Therefore, the Lord's going to heal us differently.
Exactly. And that's the Lord doesn't want you to stay that way. That's why he wants to set you free. But otherwise, you're gonna wind up operating in fear, and you're gonna make your decisions by fear. And Paul talks about running the race. The brokenhearted, you hold on to running a race with a broken leg or two. I've seen some people who are so broken, they're trying to run a race with 2 broken legs and a broken arm. And it's like, buddy, you can get healed of that and really run a race. But like I said, a lot of people operate out of fear, and we can't do that, ladies. We cannot operate in fear. We have to tell the Lord. And sometimes you know what you have to do? And I actually read an article about this and I didn't finish it yet. And I need to. But one of the things it talks about is the chemical release when you have fear. And the way you get through it is by doing what makes you fearful. That's how you get through is by doing what makes you fear. So Joanna, speaking in front of people, we should get you up in front of people and start speaking. That gets you out of that fear.
I'm good.
I knew that's how that conversation was going to go.
I don't think so.
But that's what they say.
I was thinking, I'm scared of spiders, so maybe I'll hold a spider.
Okay.
And then you're getting all crazy over there with talking in front of people. No.
Baby steps. We can start with the spider.
No,
we can start holding the spider and then work our way towards speaking in front of people.
I'm good.
I mean, the Lord has taken a lot of my fears and had to force me like one-on-one conversations. Joanna, if I can do it, you can do it.
I know.
One-on-one conversations have I had.
Kudos to you, girl.
Yeah, because the Lord told me I have to do this. Just saying. How do you know? One day, maybe somebody might say, hey, can you ladies, come talk to our ladies group? And I need you. I can't do it by myself. Because it's modern day Abigail's is Anna and Joanna, not just Anna.
I know. Listen, Byron, the other day, our worship pastor, he said, hey, what do you think about this? And I said,
singing?
Yeah. And I said, like up at the front?
Yeah, he told me about that.
He's like, well, yeah. I'm like in front of people? And he's like, well, yeah. I'm like, I don't think that's for me. He said, well, you won't be the only one up there. I said, can I be in the back?
Yeah, he was talking about getting several ladies to sing that one part.
Yeah,
he was talking to me about it. He said, yeah, I talked to Joanna, but Joanna didn't want to be up front. I started laughing. I'll work with her.
I've literally had 2 panic attacks over that conversation.
I know. I told him that.
And it hasn't even happened. No.
Well, we'll discuss that later. Anyway, ladies, we're talking about fear and getting over our fears and doing what makes us fearful. I'm not talking about being dumb. Okay. I am not talking about fear like jumping off of a bungee cord. I am not bungee cord jumping. Okay.
Oh, Anna, face your fears.
That's different.
Face your fears, girl. You got this.
That is not fear. That's stupidity. Okay. That's different.
Listen, those things break.
Now,
you see the horror shows.
Now, if you're like, I jump off with bungee jump all the time. Great. I'm so glad you bungee jump.
Good for you.
I'm that type of person. I'll hold your purse. I don't like roller coasters.
I'll take the video.
That's not the fear I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that fear. I will hold your purse.
I will video your bungee jumping
purse. You go
all day long.
Go jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Yeah.
Go jump off a bridge. I don't care. Hey, with the bungee cord, of course. Go on a roller coaster. Let me hold your purse. That's different. I'm talking about the Lord asking you to go and witness. I'm talking about the Lord asking you to go help somebody who's hurting and needs to talk. I'm talking about getting over your fear of maybe going out your front door. I know there's some homebound people that they're afraid to go out of their front door. No, go out of your front door. Yeah. Somebody might be afraid to go to the grocery store. Go to the grocery store. That's what I'm talking about. not talking about jumping out of a perfectly good airplane with a parachute.
Listen, my family went skydiving and I videoed the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All 3 jumps. There were 3 of them. I was the videoer.
Stevie's
the
band,
babysitter.
Stevie's band went to Six Flags, or the one in San Antonio, and it was nothing but roller coasters. I mean, I was struggling because it was a bunch of roller coasters, and I was in this group, and I'm like, it was a bunch of girls. It just so happens it wound up being a bunch of girls and Stevie and a couple of the guys. And I'm like, I'll hold purses. They're like, oh my gosh, you're so awesome. I'm like, thanks. Stevie's just over there laughing because he knows getting me on that roller coaster. Like, make break. I don't know when his last maintenance was. Goodness.
Or if they ever had one.
I know, exactly. Now,
did it fail?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But now, on the flip side, if the Lord's like, hey, Anna, I need you to fly to this country, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to get over my fear of flying and going to other countries because the Lord told me to go do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. So the reason we were talking about that is so many different ways of operating in fear. Some of this is just operating in fear. Some of it's just being ignorant. So I'm not sure how we got into fear, but I wanted to talk about it.
Okay. This is a great topic.
Thanks. Genesis 27:39. Then Isaac, his father, answered and said to him, behold, your dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother, and it shall come to pass when you become restless that you shall break his yoke from your neck. And my first thought was, that doesn't sound like a blessing.
Not a blessing.
I'm not sure if it is.
All. Sounds like a curse.
Yeah, I'm about to say, in fact, I've been like, never mind.
Yeah,
Just keep that to yourself.
back.
Take that back. Keep it to yourself. But remember, Esau married women that he should never have married. It was another sign that he despised his birthright. Should he get rewarded for his bad behavior? Of course not.
He spent his whole life to find the Lord.
He wanted a blessing before he even repented. And the term regarding the dwelling is more like having a nomadic life. You know, I always think it's funny that they try to tell us that we were nomads and we were cavemen and blah, blah, blah. No. If you read a book of Genesis, we were farmers and ranchers. We didn't see a nomadic life until when?
Exodus.
Cain killed Abel. He became nomadic.
He was the first nomad. Yeah, you're right.
I don't think anybody realized that nomadic is not a good thing.
He was running and
That's
hiding.
a sinful thing. I mean, so far what I'm seeing, those who are in sin are running. They're nomadic.
The Jews from the Exodus, the whole reason that they had to be nomads for 40 years.
Because they were disobedient to the Lord.
They were disobedient.
Exactly.
The Lord's like, no, you are not entering my special land.
Uh-huh. So Esau's going to be nomadic because of sinning, despising his birthright. We see that pattern, sin causes us to be nomadic and run away from God. We move, not him. So Esau would be under Jacob, but not forever. This is a picture of change. Esau can change. And if you keep reading, we are going to see, if you keep reading now, we will get to it eventually. Reading where we see the restoration where Esau and Jacob love one another. But it's not right now. And like I said, if you want a hint, start finishing the book of Genesis, but we will get to it because we're going to be after this, discuss Rebecca and Leah. Unless we want to do something in between, we're going to get into not Rebecca and Leah, Rachel and Leah. So verse 41, Genesis 27:41. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. And the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rebekah. Who told him? Well, I don't see. It says here, it said it was in his heart. So does that mean Esau went and told somebody later? And who told Rebekah? Or did God tell Rebekah? I've always wondered if God was the one who told Rebekah. So the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, surely your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you by intending to kill you. That's also known as revenge. So instead of repenting and realizing that he did wrong and realizing the Lord was in control, he chooses to hate. He chose to hate his brother. It's all his brother's fault. And he decides to kill Jacob once dad dies. So we're going to talk about that because hatred is filling up Esau. And I know that you have trauma where hate fills you, but hate has never helped anyone. So I am begging and pleading that you will pray to the Lord and ask him if you have any hate stored in you reveal the hate and ask the Lord to remove it and replace it with love. I'm not saying accept bad behavior, but let go of the emotion of hate and let God deal with the bad behavior. Simply resting in Jesus, knowing he's going to take care of it. Because I know with my ex-husband, I wanted to hate him because of some of the things he'd done. But the Lord made me pray for him instead and making me realize that he died for him just as much as he died for me. And by praying for him, I actually felt better and I let it go. So anytime somebody makes me mad, you're on my prayer list. That way I can't hate. I got so mad at that one lady who, she cost me $500 because they would not give us, we had to pay a $250 deposit. And we kept our room immaculate. We were only there to sleep and leave. We weren't there to party. And we kept our room immaculate both times. And they would not give us back our deposit. And when I went to the bank and tried to say it was fraud, apparently it wasn't fraud because they had the right to keep it and not tell me why. I don't remember signing that part of the document because I had asked them, when do I get my deposit back? They said, as soon as you check out, you'll get it back. And I never got it back. And I was
Are you talking like an Airbnb?
No, it was at a hotel. It was just, it was an area of between Texas and Arkansas. All of those hotels there had deposits, $250 deposits. We left one hotel because of it and went to another one and they had the same thing. I said, Ray, if we're going to stay in this, I guess we have no choice. It was a nice hotel, clean. We're like, okay, no big deal. But anyway, she's on my prayer list because I got so mad and angry. And now I'm like, I just feel sorry for her now.
She was just doing her job.
Yeah, but she had the right to give it back to me. She didn't.
I see.
Yeah. And that's what made me upset. So anyway, but by praying, I'm not angry. I'm not bitter.
Yeah. I'm
not upset. I feel sorry. So I'm just encouraging ladies, if you're mad at somebody and you're really angry, write them down and pray over them and remember that Jesus bled for them. It took me a long time to pray for my ex-husband, but I did. And I did get over being angry and bitter. And many times I felt deceived because he was a snake in the grass. And, a lot of times deceived me. So I'm just saying is don't stay there. Pray about it. Let it go. Esau is not letting it go. Revenge is what's comforting Esau.
Thank you for letting us share our tools to become the women God created us to be. If we encouraged you today, visit us at moderndayabigails.com. Remember, you are loved, cherished, and prayed over.